Bring it in. Welcome to the channel. I'm Ricky Myers, and this is the golden age of hard rock. Today's glass, get it in there. San Francisco Hard Rock Cafe. The reason I picked San Francisco is because we're going to be celebrating someone's birthday who made a video at Alcatraz, and that's why. And today's beer, should have showed you that first. The Brewdog out of Columbus, Ohio, the Hell Cat PA, partnership between Brewdog and Bruce Dickinson's Trooper Brewing. So, yeah, that's what we got going on today. So I hope everyone had a good week, and it's time for another installment of The Week in Hard Rock. Cheers. So let's get started. Kicking it off, we've got Kiss. You wanted the best, you got, well, Unmasked. May 20th, 1980, and Kiss comes out with Unmasked. Something different, you know. In 1980, Kiss was just headed in this different direction, this kind of like pop rock disco direction, while meanwhile the rest of us, we were headed into the 1980, we were headed in the direction of AC/DC, Back in Black, Van Halen, Women and Children First, Scorpions, Animal Magnetism, hey, the debut of Iron Maiden, the debut of Def Leppard. That's the direction we were headed in. Kiss, not so much. You know, this is a love-hate thing with this, because some people absolutely love Unmasked. Some even say it's their favorite. Others hate it, don't want to have anything to do with it. Well, here's how I stand on it. I own it. I listen to it on occasion, not that much. But hey, play whatever you want to play. I don't judge. It's your music. You play what you want to play. May 20th, 1985, you also had 7 Wishes from Night Ranger. And there were a few good singles on there. Sentimental Street, 4 in the Morning, and Goodbye. 2 years later, on May 20th, 1987, Poison released their 3rd single, I Want Action, off of their debut album, Look What the Cat Dragged In. May 21st, 1976, and you got this gem. Let me try to open this one up so you can see the whole thing here. Oops. Look at that, without getting the... There you go. Blue Oyster Cult, Agents of Fortune, man. There's some really good stuff on this. Oh, did I show you the inside of this thing too? The band in there, yeah. Okay. Yeah, Agents of Fortune, Don't Fear the Reaper. I've always liked the opening track, This Ain't the Summer of Love, ETI. There's a lot of good ones on here. And you know what? Who doesn't like old school classic Blue Oyster Cult? May 21st, 1979 saw the self-titled debut from Saxon, a band that was a big part of the new wave of British heavy metal. This is the debut, so it's got that distinction, but honestly, it's really just a tease as to the kind of music Saxon would be known for, starting with just the next album. This one does have kick-ass cover art, though. Music, not so much. May 21st, 1982, however, is some kick-ass music with RIOT's Restless Breed. It's the first album with Rhett Forrester on vocals, and you've got some great stuff here. Hard Lovin' Man, When I Was Young, and the title track, Restless Breed, all stand out to me. Also, in 1982, on May 21st, you get Queen with Hot Space. And I can say, I don't own it, and other than the song Under Pressure with David Bowie, I find it completely unlistenable. It's another example of a classic rock band that slayed in the 70s, going in a totally different direction than where the fans of hard rock were headed. Thankfully, Under Pressure is on the greatest hits, because I'll never buy this album or listen to it again. May 23rd, 1979, and it's our second Kiss entry. Kiss put out Dynasty, which I do like better than Unmasked. Yeah, sure, you got your disco influenced I Was Made for Loving You and Sure Know Something, but you also have an Ace Frehley trifecta in 2000 Man, Save Your Love, and Hard Times. You know what? There was a song on here when this came out that I really didn't care for in 1979, and that was the Peter Criss song, the one Peter Criss song on there, Dirty Living. But kind of like food, when you grow up in okra or collard greens, you hated it as a kid, but as an adult, hey, I like it. That same thing has happened to that song. Growing up, it was always 2000 Man was my go-to song, but the song I actually like to listen to the most off of this is Dirty Living by Peter Criss. Who'd have thunk it? May 23rd, 1980, two kick-ass 45s were released. First, Judas Priest with Breaking the Law off of British Steel. The B-side has the killer track Metal Gods. Iron Maiden released the single for Sanctuary off of their self-titled debut album, and it has live versions of Drifter and I've Got the Fire on the B-side. Of course, the picture sleeve depicted Eddie with Margaret Thatcher laying on the ground. In 10 years, we went from the Beatles saying, Maggie, you're a pretty fine girl, one day I'm gonna make you mine, oh yeah, to Iron Maiden going, fuck. Anyway, this single is highly collectible. On May 23rd, 1986, Poison's debut album, Look What the Cat Dragged In, was released, which we just talked about with the single I Want Action. They were still releasing singles off of this a year later. It would end up number 3 on Billboard, selling over 3 million copies. This album cover, though, as a red-blooded, dirty white boy, I find it difficult to look at. It needs that brown paper bag that Zeppelin used for In Through the Outdoor. And speaking of Zeppelin, going back to 1973, on May 24th, Zepp released the single for Over the Hills and Far Away. Taken off the Houses of the Holy album, the B-side was Dancing Days. May 24th is also the birthday of Blue Oyster Cult drummer and vocalist Albert Bouchard. Albert was born in 1947 in Watertown, New York, and is celebrating his 77th this year. Happy birthday, Al. May 25th, 1976 was the day UFO released No Heavy Petting. This one's got Natural Thing and I'm a Loser. May 25th, 1983, and we get Dio's debut, Holy Diver. And I don't even have to tell you the songs on this one. Hell, this is in running for the best album of 1983. And in case you're wondering what that writing is that's on the front of mine, that is Vinny Appice signed this for me. And yeah, man, Vinny, drummer of two of my favorite bands of all time, Black Sabbath and Dio. So there you go. I know these two are a little outside of the 70s and 80s, but on May 25th, 1992, Alice Cooper released the single for Feed My Frankenstein, a song that's always in his set list. And on May 25th, 2009, Iron Maiden released Flight 666, which is an epic live album and movie to boot. May 25th is also the birthday of Scorpions vocalist Klaus Meine. Klaus was born in 1948, so that makes him 76 this year. Happy birthday, Klaus. May 26, 1978 was the day AC/DC released the single for Rock and Roll Damnation. And sadly, May 26, 2022 was the day we lost drummer Alan White from Yes. Rest in peace, Alan. Well, that's a wrap for this week in the golden age of hard rock. And I'd like to invite you to stop in over at the Facebook page, The Golden Age of Hard Rock. Come on, take a look, join the family. It is one big happy family after all. And one thing we all have in common is that we all lived the golden age of hard rock. That period of time in the 70s and 80s when the greatest music ever made was made by the greatest bands to ever walk the face of this earth. So, cheers. And until next time, keep rocking.